Well, yeah, I guess for me, Kevin Smith, the only thing that I can think of, like...
there was a story that you tell about when you saw the movie Trainspotting.
My wife Johanna and I, when Dashiell came, we had not left him alone. Her grandmother came to help out, and then her sister came, and then my mom came, and it was really the first time that we were going to actually go and do something without, having the baby in tow and having somebody that we knew look after him. And so we met this wonderful young woman, and everyone's like, she's the greatest babysitter. You're so lucky that you can get her. And she came over to the house. She was in the neighborhood when we paged her. This is back when pagers were still in use.
Yes.
And she came over, and she was the sweetest thing in the world. And Dashiell immediately loved her, and we were like, oh, it's on. We can start to live our lives again. And so it's time to go to the movie. And we're like, okay, Trainspotting, that's going to be the movie. That is, everyone says it's fantastic, and we just can't wait to go. And we open the door when the doorbell rings, and she's dressed head to toe like Xena, warrior princess, and like with a full sword and everything. And it was beautiful, and it was also like this. We're now consciously deciding to leave our child with this woman.
Yes.
It feels a little weird.
Are you expecting raiders?
So then we go to the movie, and there's a significant scene in the movie where, I'm sorry about spoilers in case anyone hasn't seen it, but there is a child who dies of neglect in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And Johanna and I looked at each other, and we're like, we left our son, our baby, who is that baby's age, with Xena Warrior Princess. And we jumped up out of our seats and ran all the way back to our apartment, exhausted and panting, and like, you know what? It's all good. We just thought we'd just come home a little early, and we paid her for the full night out of guilt. And off she went to Xena Warrior Princess night. But she ended up being our regular babysitter. It was only one time that she dressed up as Xena Warrior Princess.
Right. Oh, I would have made that a requirement from then on. I'd be like, why aren't you in the Xena?
And we were sort of like, if something were to happen, it might be nice to have somebody who's got a sword on them.
Yeah, she could fend off, raiders or Vikings or any other sort of, trash that comes by. Now, we had a gentleman on whose name is Scott Koblish. Now, Scott Koblish is a comic book artist, and he actually holds the Guinness Book of World Records for the most superheroes on a single cover of Deadpool. He also...
He's from New Jersey.
Yeah, if you remember Joe Greshko, who I used to host Bone Crushing Juggernaut with, he's a friend of Joe as well. So we had him on the show, and he was telling us about his Chasing Amy experience. And I just had to play this to you, so here we go.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
So when I was living in New York, the movie that came out was what was the one with it was about all the comic books.
Chasing Amy? Or was it
Mallrats? So Chasing Amy came out, and it was really kind of strange because I lived downtown. I lived on Houston Street, and I'd just been there was a bar on Houston Street across from my building that was it was a lesbian bar. I forget the name of it. It's like Kitty Cat or something like that.
Oh my God! It's like right out of fucking. It's right out of the movie.
Yeah, and what happened was I'd been in that bar for Xena Night. A friend of mine dragged me there, and that was fun. But it was just a lesbian bar. Like at the door, the bouncer was like, "This place isn't for you," and I was like, "Don't worry." And I'd been.
Hey, I'm Alice. I'm in construction.
Yeah. I was like, I was an inker at the time, and
fucking tracer.
Yeah, so I went to see that movie. Like, I went to go see it at I forget the Angelica or whatever was on Houston Street.
That's the Angelica.
I walked down the block to go see, someone told me that or I'd seen some advertisement for it. I hadn't seen Clerks, but like I'd seen little snippets of Clerks. So I was like, oh, that's by the guy who did Clerks. So I go in, I sit down in the movie theater. There weren't a lot of people. It was in the middle of the day. And I'm watching the movie, and it's like, first off, it's about like all the it's about comics, and
Yeah.
it's really weird. And then all of a sudden, there's a whole bunch of people I know, like Jimmy Palmiotti and Joe Quesada, and so I'm watching this film, and I'm completely like, whoa!
And it's taking
And then, of
place
course, the
in a
girl-
comic book con. You know what I mean? Like,
And then of course, the girl is like, well, she takes him to like her favorite bar, which I'm like, that's the bar I was just at. So the surprise where like she's bi. Like, I was like, well, of course she's bi. She's in that lesbian bar that's across the street from me. So I was sitting there and I was just watching this thing, and it was really surreal. I'm just like, I was having like a whole bunch of moments where I was like, I don't understand how this is like, I kept looking behind me to see if someone was punking me, you know what I mean? Because it was just so tight in with all the things that I've been doing and all the things I've been seeing. And it was just really surreal experience for me.
So the thing that jumped out at me was the Xena Night thing.
That was the bar.
See,
That was
I
it.
knew
He
it.
said it was going.
I had a feeling.
Oh my god!
As soon as he said that, I'm like, holy shit. I think that's the same bar that
Yeah.
Andrew McElfresh's baby. And it's all around the same time,
It
too.
was. That's crazy.
Because he's talking about it around the time
Right.
Chasing Amy
It's
came
almost
out.
like we were there.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So I had to play that clip to you because it was just like one of those moments where it's like, wow, what a small world.
Mm-hmm.
It
Very
is a
much
small
so.
world.
Very much so.
I think that, and I think I can say with relative certainty that there weren't two bars doing the Xena Night. And
I would say that's a safe bet.
Yeah.
You know what's weird is you said Xena Night, and that reminded me of another story too. Is when we were shooting in New York at the what's the name of the club? Was it the Kit Kat or something? I don't
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was the Pussycat Club or something. So we were sleeping on someone's floor in Brooklyn that production set us up with, like a friend of a friend, me and my friend Brian Strang. And so we could get there early to get coffee ready, because by that point we knew coffee had to be ready for everyone. And we went to the bar, the lesbian bar, and we said to look where to hook up everything. And there were really tired, half asleep lesbians still there from the night before. And we were like, what's going on? They're like, oh, it was Xena Night last night.
Oh,
Oh
my
my
God.
God,
All right, now we have
now
one.
we have to tell you
okay.
a story.
Now
We're all connected.
This is so fucked
such
up.
a small world.
Here comes part 3.
Okay.
All right, we just had
We're all connected.
Edumacation Andy on, which Andy hosts
yeah.
Edumacation with Kevin.
Andy McElfresh.
Okay,
Andrew
now
McElfresh, yeah.
Andy tells a story about his babysitter when he's in New York. The first time him and his wife get to go out to see a movie, to go see, what was it? It was
Train Spotting.
Train Spotting.
Yes, Train Spotting.
which
was
ironically
it
has
90?
a kid dying of neglect in it.
What's that, like 96,
Yeah,
95
so it's
or
around
something?
there. But their babysitter got there, and she's dressed as Xena. And he's like, well, what's the story
Right?
here? And she's like, well, after this, I'm going to a bar because it's Xena Night.
Tell me.
So
This is
what is
so
this small world with this bar and the Xena Night? And Kevin, it's so odd.
The Xena bar is the center of our universe. We
It
just don't know it.
somehow
The
is.
lesbian-
It's so nuts.
the
This is like the
lesbian
third time
Xena
it's come
bar.
up in like 3 weeks or some
Yeah.
shit.
We have to
That's
go to this
funny.
place.
This
Where
is so
this
nuts.
place?
Yeah, it was down in the village.
Yeah, it's in the village. They were the
Lower East
nicest
Side or
people
something.
too.
Were they?
They were. Oh my God, they were just very excited to be doing the movie too.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, it
God,
was great.
yeah.
All right. And I remember that day too. Joey Adams had a magazine cover come out during that day. That day it came out.
Oh my God! Here's the
While we
thing.
were shooting, and she's like, "Don't tell anyone. I'm just, I'm kind of like, I don't want to make a big deal of it." You could tell she was very excited.
Yeah.
So Brian Strang and I, we went across the street to Kinko's and we Xeroxed the cover and put it everywhere on the set.
Oh my God!
Because we wanted everyone to know, and
Yeah.
we were proud. And I remember even on the car that took her away was covered in pictures of her from her magazine.
that's so
See, that's so
sweet.
amazing because I just assumed that was shot in Red Bank and just
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, no, it's funny. It could have been. You're right. It could have been,
Right.
because there was only like an exterior shot when they look out and Scott Mosier's on the roof of their car.
Yeah,
or on the
yeah.
hood of their car making out. But no, it could have been. Yeah, no, but they were both actually lesbian. All the New York bars are actual New York bars.
Wow, that's amazing! I didn't realize that. That is even better. That's better to know.
Right. It really is.
Wow, I'm already glad we had him on now.
I know.